So this crisis has been going on for several weeks now without any signs of abating. I wonder whose side is time on in this conflict?
Well, it's good to be with you. The question is a very good one. I think, the truth is that the longer Putin waits, if he's really committed to using force in Ukraine, and that's an open question, but it certainly is looking more and more like that. If the longer he waits, the more costly it's going to become. The longer he waits, whether it's weeks or months or years, Ukraine will have more political support. It will have more arms from the West. It will be better advised and have better intelligence. The costs of intervening in Ukraine or changing borders again in Ukraine will go up. So time, in that sense, is not on Moscow's side. Whether Putin realizes that or not is an open question.
Well, what is Putin's endgame here?
Very unclear. Clearly, Russia is dissatisfied with the situation in Ukraine, would like to reclaim Ukraine, I think, ultimately for Russia, but is also broadly dissatisfied with the security order in Europe. A sense somehow that Russia's power and prestige has gotten short shrift since the end of the Cold War, and it requires some kind of wholesale adjustment. And Ukraine is, in a way, the sort of pointy edge of that strategy of trying to change the security order in Europe, which begins with some understanding that NATO and the EU, actually, are not going to enlarge to Ukraine. That's a very unrealistic commitment to see.
If I may interject here briefly, NATO has repeatedly expressed its solidarity with Ukraine. Is this going to hold?
I think it will hold. I think, the question of Ukraine being, having the sovereign right to decide what kind of alliances it would like to join, and others actually who are in the queue to join NATO if they wish. I mean, that's a basic proposition for NATO. Whether any of that actually happens in terms of further enlargement is an open question again. But I think, basically this increase in tension, the concentration of force, has really shaken up members of the alliance. And Russia is going to have to live with the consequences of that, whether it acts or not.
All right. Ian Lesser there from the German Marshall Fund in Brussels. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.